As we'll persevere whatever comes this fall, and we'll be fine. So first of all, welcome everybody. This thing keeps sliding down. I may, if it goes below my nose, sorry, but that's the way it's got to be. So welcome everybody. I hope you've all had a tremendous summer and you've had a good opportunity to get out and do some things outside. Let me start off by recognizing some of our colleagues that went through the promotion and or tenure cycle this last cycle. First of all, acknowledge 3 of our colleagues that were promoted to associate professor with tenure across 3 different departments: Brian Larson, Jeff Mason, and Oli Slipiness. Congratulations to all of those. Oli holds the only distinction I know of the faculty member who was bitten like 5 times by a copperhead and survived to make tenure. So congratulations especially to him. Yeah. Okay. Elmet Volmer was promoted to research associate professor, so congratulations to her and that accomplishment. And then promoted to professional practice associate professor Andreas, or as his colleagues and students know him better by his call sign, Baron Wiesman. Congratulations, Baron. Then, whoops, not to skip, our distinguished colleagues who now are professors in our college: Keith Christensen, Dave Wilson, and Earl Creech. Can I get a big round of applause for all of these faculty, and congratulations. Again, what's been, I think, a tradition that preceded me, and I think is important, because I thought back when I was a faculty member in ADVL, well, I still am a faculty member. You guys can't throw me out. Because I'd have to approve that, and I won't approve it. You know, oftentimes we live a little bit in our own world. So I think going through the highlights of the college is a very good thing, because some of our colleagues and students have done some tremendous things and have received some just awesome awards. And so, again, I like to spend the time to go through so that we can acknowledge amongst ourselves that we really work with some spectacular, superb folks in this college. So first, Jennifer Reeve and Earl Creech were awarded almost $2 million by the USDA NIFA program. The primary goals of their 4-year project are to investigate the effects of compost on water efficiency, soil, and yield, and to test new intercropping strategies. So congratulations to those 2 colleagues. PSC undergraduate researcher Julie Hershkowitz received an American Society of Horticulture Science Scholarship Award. The national award is given to only 2 individuals each year. Yuping Sun, an assistant professor of landscape horticulture, has been working with Julie since 2018. Her research with Dr. Sun focuses on salinity tolerance of select landscape plants. And this summer, she has had her own research on salinity tolerance of hemp cultivars. Well, nice job, Julie. She's going to be a tremendous catch when she finishes up and graduates and whatever she does, I'm sure. PSC doctoral student Paige Boyle was recognized as a Watson Fellow with a $5,000 award from the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. So that away, Paige. In NDFS, students and NDF students, nutrition, dietetics, and food science students and volunteers, it was essentially 294 project volunteers gathered apples and other fruit in cooperation with 89 local fruit tree growers. The fruit that wasn't high enough quality to donate was made into 259 pints of applesauce And the applesauce was also donated to the Student Nutrition Access Center at a time when many food resources were in short supply at area food pantries. So very awesome project by our students in NDFS. Food science students Savannah Branson, Melissa Marsh, and Jared Bueller won first place at the Smart Snacks for Kids competition with their creation, Moonola. Now, I'm not a kid, but I'd go for this. Listen to this. Moonola is an instant granola cereal packed with protein and color changing. Color changing. It changes color when you add milk. The USU's team submission was best met the competition's guidelines for creating a fun and nutritious food or beverage product targeted at kids. I endorse that for sure. That also abides by, so the product they produced had to abide by all FDA regulations. So awesome. The Aggie Chocolate Factory hosted its first Chocolate Expo a little less than a year ago. This year's expo will be held virtually during CAAS Week later on in September. The expo featured a chocolate creation competition open to both professionals and the public. Short courses from the Aggie Chocolate Factory researchers, local chocolatiers, and internationally recognized chocolate makers were also held throughout the day. Last year, the expo attracted 23 participants in the chocolate product competition, 5 nationally recognized companies, and the Aggie Chocolate Factory also created 20 new products this year. So stop by the Aggie Blue Square facility to try something new. And in fact, our dessert for today's lunch has been produced by the Aggie Chocolate Factory. Tatiana Dragova received the Richardson Applebaum Scholarship for the best dissertation from the Food Distribution Research Society. Tatiana's dissertation explores 3 sections of the organic wheat market: the profitability for producers compared to conventional wheat, the segmentation and understanding of consumers, and consumers' willingness to pay. In addition, Kinda Curtis was recognized with the Frank Panico Distinguished Service Award from the same society. At the conference in Seattle, Dr. Curtis was recognized for her outstanding leadership, generous service, and her long-term commitment to the society. Congratulations, Kinda, well deserved. Ruby Ward and Kinda, and as well as their research team, have been awarded 2 program grants totaling $1 million to assist residents of the Native American reservations in Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and South Dakota. Each grant's aim is to improve the economies of each reservation, one specifically for entrepreneurs in rural areas and the other for small to medium-sized farms. Ruby's the project director and Kenda is the co-principal investigator. You know, ASTE got to be a huge department, and not too many months ago, we decided it was time to divide that department or split that department and create a new department, Aviation and Technical Education, or the AVTE. And I think you've already seen some of that on some of the slides today. Bruce Miller leads the programs in AVTE, and Becky Lauber is interim head and leads the programs in ASTE. AVTE's primary focus is to provide students with learning opportunities in trades and technology, health professions, business technologies, and aviation to advance their career options. Revitalizing career and technical programs in the southeastern portion of Utah is a primary driver of this action. And we developed 29 certificate programs being offered in the southeast region this past fall. So this was a needed move, and we're happy to be able to do that. Now, Kaylee Roholt was named the National Outstanding Professional Advisor of the Year by the National Academic Advising Association. Congratulations, Kaylee. We're grateful for all the help you give to our aviation students. Congratulations. Andreas Weisman was also recognized as the 2020 USU Eldon Gardner Teacher of the Year at the Robbins Award ceremony. Congratulations, Barron. Now, he joins a long list of other colleagues in this college that have received this prestigious award that really recognize what USU considers the top teacher of the year. So congratulations, you've joined a strong group of colleagues in this college. Julie Weaver received 2 national awards. The Utah Association of Teachers of Family and Consumer Sciences Lifetime Achievement Award and the Utah Association for Career and Technical Education Lifetime Achievement Award. Julie primarily teaches courses for students who will teach family and consumer sciences in middle and high schools and in the community setting. She has also taught many graduate courses in creative arts class and a creative arts class with an enrollment of 750 students. Way to go, Julie. Deb Spielmaker received the 2020 American Association for Agriculture Education Distinguished Extension Educator Award. Congratulations, Deb. The Equine Program launched the Veterans Adaptive Riding Initiative, a project focused on the benefits of equine interaction for disabled veterans and service members. This initiative is funded by a little over $150,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. The grant will allow the Equine Program to expand pathways to horsemanship, engage veterans in trail rides through Ride Utah, and create educational and participation opportunities with the National Snaffle Bit Association. I think talking to Carl before the meeting, they've had 10 rides so far this year, and he's only had 1 spare saddle in all of those rides. So it's obviously meeting a very important need and providing a huge return to our veterans that have been so important to us. Yuri Parisi, an ADVS doctoral student, was recognized for having the best student poster at the International Embryo Technology Society's annual conference. Yuri's studies in animal molecular genetics and his poster showcased work on producing a sheep model for cystic fibrosis research. Congratulations, Yuri. Students in landscape architecture and environmental planning's Urban Theory and Design Studio won a 2019 Utah American Planning Association Outstanding Award for their work with the city of Ogden. This project focused primarily on the rail yard and sites around Ogden and Weber Rivers. Students developed plans to reconnect these sites to the city and enrich the city's identity. LAP students also focused on helping Kanab thrive as part of the department's annual charrette. Recommendations included adding public recreation center, an observatory, creating a visitor center, and planning more activities during the winter and fall when tourist traffic slows. Senior students representing teams presented their work to an audience of Kanab officials and citizens and LAP faculty. The accepted ideas will be implemented in Kanab's development plans, and students may someday be able to return and see their proposals brought to life. Brent Chamberlain, along with 2 colleagues from the U of U, received an $800,000 grant from the Army Research Institute for Behavioral and Social Sciences. The purpose of this research is to discover why some individuals can easily recall landmarks and directions, while this can be a difficult task for others. As we go on, it was a great year for the LAEP department from a grant standpoint, and I'll add to that in a few minutes. Ben George, a faculty member in the LAEP department, has been recognized nationally by his association as the leader in remote delivery and has spent a decade working out the logistics of teaching landscape architecture online, and was ready to answer the call to help educators nationwide when the CELA Foundation, or the CELA group, contacted him to help pass on best practices to his colleagues across the country. USU Aviation made some adjustments based on COVID-19. Is back in the air. This includes touchless thermometers, social distancing, verifying student health, and sanitizing aircraft. These measures should allow our 350 students to pick up where they left off last semester and allow students to enroll in new courses with very few limitations. Changing gears to looking at what we were able to accomplish this last year from an advancement perspective, as well as to highlight some enrollment. Once again, our portfolio of College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences for the third year in a row led all colleges and other units on campus, including athletics, for the most advancement dollars raised in a year. The College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences led all of these units with $9,525,000 and change of new gifts and pledges this past fiscal year. This was a new record for the college by over $2 million. Despite not being able to travel the last four months of the fiscal year. The development team also had 411 visits with donors throughout the year and saw 114 first-time visits with new donors to the college. 4 new gifts of over $1 million were added to the college from the following individuals: Joyce Nation, Jack and Irene Walther Trust, Derry West, and the Bastion Charitable Foundation. Awesome job by our advancement team. These created 2 new expendable scholarships, 9 new scholarship endowments, and I'm happy to report that Michelle Merrill and Brandon Monson both were recognized nationally as Rehere Prime Officer awardees. This award recognizes the top 10% of development officers in the nation, and we have 2 of those in our college, so congratulations to those folks. I'm really excited about keep in context here, folks. Overall, I think as an institution, we're teetering between a 1.5 and a 3% decrease in enrollment. And our most up-to-date numbers suggest that our enrollment is over 3,000 students at this point. So these numbers for the fall semester compared to the same point in 2019 indicate a 3.69% increase in undergraduate students, a 15.67% increase in graduate enrollment, with an overall increase in overall enrollment of just over 5%. I consider this a huge win for the college. It's certainly not meeting some of the past years, but certainly in this environment, it's great. This is just a closer look at individual departments and their specific enrollments in departments. Same thing relative to graduate student enrollment. I mean, some of these are really substantial percentage increase, although the overall numbers are still modest in those programs. Some specific program growth that I'd just like to highlight. Biotechnology emphasis in the Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Sciences Department is seeing a 33% increase. The bioveterinary science emphasis, which has been increasing for many, many years, continues to see sizable increase in students each year. As you can see, over 23% increase. And in our equine science emphasis with over 21% increase. Again, 3 really thriving programs in that department. Over on in ASTE, We've seen a huge jump in agricultural science students. We've seen in the career and technical education, we've seen this is the first year of this PhD program, and they have seen in the very first year 13 new students for that new PhD program. And then the family and consumer sciences education program is continuing to grow with almost a 17% increase in that program. Again, great programs within that department. Outdoor product design and development. This is a program that ever since its creation about, how many years ago? About four or 5 years ago, has continued to see growth. We don't advertise for it, we don't recruit for it, but the students really seek it out, and it's seeing over a 15% increase this year. Our aircraft maintenance, this is a relatively new degree. It's an applied associate of science degree, is seeing increases, as is the aviation science master's degree. Nutrition science bachelor's degree is seeing big jumps in number of students, and we're also seeing increases and hopefully continued growth in that climate science bachelor's degree. The fall cohort, it's one thing to get students to come to Utah State University and to participate in the degree programs in the college. It's quite a different thing to retain them. And I'm super proud of these numbers that I'm going to present to you today. We lead the whole university in our cohort retention at a little over 75.5, which is just slightly over the USU average. But look at the next data point. Over 76% of our first gen students we see retained in our programs, which again, due to the nature of the programs we have, I think we probably see the most or the largest number of first gen students. And because of the potential impact this has on future generations of those kids, I just am really pleased with all of our faculty and our staff and our advisors for all the efforts that you put in to making sure that we retain those students in a very large number. So give yourself a good hand. So this goes back to our advancement efforts. So because we had those advancement efforts, we had, again, another record year of dollars awarded and numbers of scholarships awarded. And you can see the breakdown of those data, but just an awesome thing. I'm hoping we can see that grow. I hate to see that 498, man. That should be 500, should be 750. We're going to continue to work on that so that we can help our students come and finish out these degree programs. Well, we weren't able to have a regular graduation, so I thought it was important for you to realize how many students we would have welcomed onto the stage for graduation. This, again, these numbers, which makes sense. We've continued to grow all of our programs. We retain at a very high rate. So it's to be expected that the number of graduates we see continues to grow. So again, really good substantial numbers. On the graduate side, 10 PhD students, 78 masters, and our 28 DVM students are a great effort. And obviously this number of graduate students takes a tremendous amount of work from our faculty to help mentor and complete these students. So job well done. So just to quickly go through some of the pending new program approvals that we've seen. Obviously, I mentioned the new department, and then you can still see the wide diversity of all the programs that remain in what is now, we've transitioned because of the movement of the technical ed programs out of what was formerly referred to as the School of Applied Sciences, Technology, and Education. we decided that it was more appropriate to convert that back to a department. So we'll now, that unit will now be referred to as it was formerly as the Department of Applied Science, Technology, and Education. New PhD program, Career and Technical Education in ASTE, Outdoor Products Design and Development, split out into 3 emphasis areas to better meet the needs of the students and the large number of students that they see in that program. And then the quality and reliability emphasis area provides opportunities for individuals who are interested in working in the manufacturing industry and would be involved in inspecting, auditing, and testing products to ensure consistent quality and outcome. Again, this is a list of some additional degree programs that have been approved across multiple departments, and a couple of pending programs waiting the Northwest accreditation approval. And then finally, our aviation technology management BS degree. I think there's too many aviations in that title. And that program's specifically going to have an emphasis area for unmanned aerial systems as well as for aviation operations. A couple of programs that were discontinued this past year. Now the second one, based on previous slides, they discontinued 1 degree program and actually split back out into 3 specific degree programs. So this last slide in this section is number 1, to thank everybody. Look, it was a Herculean effort last spring to, within a matter of days, transition, in a college that has a lot of experiential, hands-on stuff, and to basically transition that in a matter of days to a remote program to finish all of our students out took a huge amount of effort from both advisors, staff, faculty to be able to accommodate those students. And frankly, I don't even remember 1 complaint I heard from any of our students. Now, I mean, there were some complaints from other colleges, other departments, but by and large, we sailed through that and did really well. And again, I felt like I just needed to acknowledge that I really appreciate, and I know our students really appreciate, all the efforts that you went to in clearly unprecedented circumstances to finish out that semester. I know that work has continued on as you've prepared for what may come this fall. And so again, please accept my sincere appreciation for all of your efforts. Now, for about the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've been strongly encouraging all of our department heads to talk to faculty to make sure that, regardless of whether you routinely use it in your course or not, to load course materials into Canvas. And all I'm doing is just emphasizing what I hope all of you have already been encouraged to do. The reason for that is I'm not sure what's going to happen in the fall. My hope is that we go in, we stick with our plan, and we can finish out face-to-face just like we started. But I've come to realize I can't predict that, and I have no idea what's going to unfold. So if you load up all your information in Canvas, if we have to go totally remote or remote for just short periods of time, it'll make it much easier for you to transition to that remote experience if you already have your materials loaded into Canvas. And finally, we've ordered clear masks. The hope was that they're supposed to be here sometime today. You know, one of the things that we realized about a week and a half ago, some data was shared where faculty had gone in and done dry runs. And one of the things that was universal, one of the biggest problems was You don't have to be, have hearing issues to have problems hearing somebody who's like this. With myself, I've been shocked at how many times I've had a hard time. I've relied on watching somebody's mouth to figure out everything that they say. So in light of that, we put in a quick order. These look like they'll work. They may actually be a little bit more comfortable and allow a little bit better, won't get you quite as hot, but students will be able to see your mouth and be able to see your facial expressions. So we're providing one of these for every faculty member that's going to be in the classroom this fall, and we'll get them the appropriate numbers to the department head. So please see your department head if you would like to use one of these masks. Now, these next set of slides clearly show that you folks have been doing more than sitting home, watching Magnum PI reruns. Our college had a total in this fiscal year of over $25 million. That's an all-time record for extramural funding. A tremendous accomplishment for all of you involved in research. And again, you can see our numbers. This was our college ranked second at USU for all sponsored funding behind the College of Education. But man, we keep closing that gap. And it may, I don't know if it'll be during my tenure, but I'm sure it'll be during some tenure of the dean in this college where we actually surpass, or at least get really close to surpassing the College of Education. Our college has the greatest total of basic research funding at USU, so congratulations to everyone. Couple of highlights, obviously, my NIH award, I think that's in there because that happened to be just slightly the largest award that we had in the college. But that certainly involves Irina Polasheva as another PI on that award, as well as two colleagues, Brad Cairns and Ed Groh down at the University of Utah Cancer Institute. So Steve Young with a new USDA competitive award, and then Simon, a sizable NSF award. Congratulations to those folks. Then Jeff Mason receiving a competitive USDA award for a little over $430,000. Silvana, not only making chocolate, but also making money with almost $500,000, a competitive award from USDA. And then Keith Christensen, again, this is where I say, LAP has just knocked it out of the park this year. If you remember what Brent Chamberlain did, and now Keith, $500,000, that group has really done a fantastic job. Our Institute for Antiviral Research. Researchers in this group are testing antiviral compounds and licensed drugs for their effectiveness against the novel coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19. They specialized in developing animal models for testing as well as cellular models for testing antiviral agents and vaccines. Their work is supported by a $2.5 million research grant from the National Institutes of Health, and still growing with what they're being asked to do. So really proud of those folks and for the contribution that they're making to help solve this, this pandemic, or being able to address this pandemic. Look at the research outputs. We see the total number of publications by department. Our faculty published 217 research papers, proceedings, and books in 2019, which is just an outstanding. And then if you look at the FTEs per publication, what a huge output the faculty and PSC have had this past year is just astounding. Some faculty honors that I thought you ought to be aware of regarding your colleagues. Jennifer McAdam has been elected to the fellow of, or appointed to the fellow as a fellow of the American Society of Agronomy. Bruce Bugby, fellow in the American Association of Horticulture Science. Lacey Peterson, a fellow in the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and Andreas Wiesman, a master certified flight instructor from the National Association of Flight Instructors. So creme de the creme, very nice job for these nice acknowledgement of the contributions that these folks have made to their various disciplines. Paul Jackish and Shirzad Akahumanajov. I did better yesterday than I did today. Sorry, Shirzad. An outstanding published research award from the Western Agricultural Economics Association for their paper that was titled The Antiquities Act, Large National Monuments and the Regional Economy in the Journal of Environmental Economics and Management. Tremendous work that really has been able to highlight some of the important aspects and intangible aspects of our national monuments throughout the state. Mateus Savoy Rascos, Casey Coombs, Jacqueline Meade Avila, Leslie Rowley, and Heidi LeBlanc received an award for the 2020 Best Great Educational Material by the Journal of Nutrition, Education, and Behavior for the paper Create Better Health, a Practical Approach to Improving Cooking Skills and Food Security. So now we're going to transition to our department and new faculty introductions, and hopefully I don't screw this up. From the Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Science Department, Department Head Dirk Vanderwald. Here we go.
Chad Page is from Chandler, Arizona, and specializes in small ruminant production systems and ruminant nutrition. Page received the 2018 American Sheep Industry Association Heritage Memorial Scholarship, and in 2020, he received the PhD Young Scholar Award from the Western Section of American Society of Animal Science. Page has published several articles in journals like the Journal of Animal Science, Journal of Agriculture Studies, and the Professional Animal Scientist. His hobbies include camping, hiking, relaxing with family, which include his wife Chantel, and 4 children, George, Lorena, Evelyn, and Vincent. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Okay, welcome, Chad.
Sean Zimmerman is a native of Arkansas, a board-certified veterinary clinical pathologist and an infectious disease researcher. She received her BS in biology from Lyon College in Batesville, Arkansas in 2004. Sean then relocated to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to obtain her DVM from Louisiana State University in 2008. After becoming a proficient Cajun cook and an avid football fan, she moved to Athens, Georgia to complete her postdoctoral training at the University of Georgia, clinical pathology residency in 2011, PhD in infectious diseases in 2015, and postdoctoral fellowship in 2020. Sean's research interest is in zoonotic infectious diseases, with an emphasis in studying novel host pathogen interactions that are essential for the success of a pathogen within human and animal hosts. She is also an amateur potter with 12 years experience in crafting functional stoneware. When not in the lab or pottery studio, Sean enjoys gardening, birding, and relaxing with her husband Jeremy and 2 rambunctious cats. Welcome to Utah State University.
Welcome, Sean. And my favorite is crawfish étouffée. So if you're looking for bribes, okay.
Jocelyn Cuthbert is from Colorado and completed her undergraduate at Colorado State University and her PhD at Utah State University. Her hobbies include skiing, mountain biking, and horseback riding. Jocelyn's family includes 1 very cute dog. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Jocelyn.
Scott Hexham went to Helena, Montana for his first 4 years of college. His area of concentration was in chemistry from Carroll College in Helena, Montana, a Bachelor in Science and Biology from the University of Oregon, and he earned a Master of Arts in Anthropology with a focus in Comparative Anatomy from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. While in Illinois, he was a firefighter for 18 years and an EMT for 12 years, and also a certified fire service instructor and certified fire and arson investigator. Exum moved to East Central Illinois, where he held a job at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine for 15 years, which is nearly the same position he holds here at USU. His hobbies include reading and photography, with the occasional computer games thrown into the mix. He and his wife Julie are getting back into fishing. Exum met his wife Julie in high school in 1984. They reconnected and then got married in 2015. After he married Julie, he immediately gained a much larger family and now has 4 stepkids, Danny, Parker, Hannah, and Sam, along with the older kids' spouses, Alexa, Michaela, and Spencer. XM also has 3 grandchildren, Gwen, Hadley, and Roman, with a 4th on the way. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Scott.
Taylor Patrick is from Sandy, Utah, but now calls Logan home. She received her bachelor's degree from USU and enjoys reading, camping, tending to her plants, and spending time with family, with some occasional rounds of golf on the side. Taylor and her husband Sean have a 3-year-old daughter named Hadley and 2 dogs, Bjorn and Belle. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Taylor. Taylor actually works in my lab, so I know Taylor pretty well.
Other staff from the Animal Dairy and Veterinary Sciences Department include Shani Christensen, Jeremy Dyke, Haley Barnes, Caitlin Bunker, and Reagan Briggs. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
I think those folks just didn't make the deadline, so sorry we couldn't get their pictures or a little bit more about them. Applied Economics. Department Head Dylan Fates.
Anastasia Thayer joined the Applied Economics Department as a new Agriculture and Natural Resources Assistant Professor in January. Her research interests include the impacts of climate variability to agriculture, water use in agriculture, and how water markets can change water allocation among user groups. Recently, she has started looking at topics related to livestock, specifically cattle transportation. She has a split teaching, research, and extension appointment. She received her PhD in agricultural economics from Texas A&M University and an MS degree in resource economics from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. She is a native of Vermont and enjoys skiing, running, and backpacking. She and her husband Brandon and their 4-month-old son Kieran are enjoying Cache Valley. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Anastasia. With those hobbies, you're going to be right at home here. Our Applied Sciences, Technology, and Education Department, Becky Lauber.
Jessica Baxter was born in Logan, Utah, and currently lives in Far West. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Business Education with a Marketing Education minor and Master's in Human Resources at USU. She has spent the last 10 years teaching business courses in junior high and high schools in Ogden and Weaver school districts. In her free time, she enjoys camping, horseback riding, kayaking, chasing chickens, and spoiling her dog. Jessica will join the ASTE department in January and be located at the Brigham City campus. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Jessica.
Carrie Williams grew up in Salt Lake City and lived for many years in Davis County, where she enjoyed a successful career in healthcare information systems and finance. After her second child was born, she chose to change directions and began a career in domestic engineering. She spent several years volunteering and substituting in public schools, serving as PTA president, Millville City Youth Council advisor, as well as contributing to South Cache Youth Soccer. Carrie has always believed in being involved in her community, and after returning to Cache Valley 15 years ago, worked for Cache County, where she was instrumental in Cache County elections and the Cache County Fair and Rodeo. With her husband Mark Williams, she was chairman of the Community Booths exhibit at the fair for 8 years. She is a true blue Aggie, graduating from Utah State University with a BS in Business Information Systems and a Business Administration minor. Carrie and Mark are raising 4 wonderful children, 3 daughters, 1 son, and 2 dogs. She enjoys spending time with family, being outdoors, kayaking, skiing, reading good books, and sewing. At some future date, she looks forward to attending sporting events and traveling again. Carrie has enjoyed being back at Utah State with the great people in the Applied Sciences, Technology, and Education Department. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Carrie. Aviation and Technical Education, Bruce Miller.
Benjamin Wolford earned his MBA from Western Governors University and is now a lecturer in business computer applications. He worked for law enforcement with the state of Utah, but taught as an adjunct instructor for USU Eastern last school year. Wolford's role is to work with the Center of Enrichment, helping students with certifications or enhancing their professional skills. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Ben.
Carrie Lamoureux received her education from Weber State University and most recently worked at Davis Technical College. Her main focus will be to ensure that the BUS and Business Computer Information Systems courses are widely available for the degree-seeking students in Gen Tech, TESI, business education, and to build strong pathways and linkages for student successes, as the focus on certificate programs intensifies in Price, Blanding, and Moab. Welcome to Utah State University.
Welcome, Carrie.
For the past 5 years, Cody Meekum has been self-employed as a corn mill quality tools dealer. He started in the diesel industry 29 years ago, where he received a certificate of completion in the diesel technology program. He worked in every avenue in the diesel industry, from greasing trucks to building engines, and has earned many certifications along the way. Meekum will be teaching in the same classroom where he started as a student. His main area of focus at USU is to turn superior techs into the workforce and to have them qualify for national competition. Meekum's interests and hobbies are boating and going to the sand dunes or anything with family. He says his family is the most important part of his life. We are pleased to have Cody at Utah State University.
Welcome to the team, Cody.
From June 2018 to July 2020, Sean Barstow was an aviation outreach assistant at USU. Prior to that, he retired from the U.S. Air Force after 21 years of service. Barstow has a BA in General Studies with an emphasis in aviation and will be receiving his Master's of Aviation Science this December. He will be teaching students about drones and teaching other aviation-related classes. Barstow will also be leading the Aggie Drone Academy, USU's prime drone outreach and public drone education entity. His hobbies have taken second place when it comes to family, but they enjoy a good movie and good food. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome aboard, Sean.
Duke Papworth most recently worked at Kansas State University's Polytechnic Campus Applied Aviation Research Center. He has a BS in Aviation Maintenance Management and a Master's in Aviation from Utah State University. Papworth is employed as a UAS lecturer and teaches about the world of drones. Sharing knowledge and encouraging learning by doing are two of his passions in teaching in any capacity. He enjoys bicycling and sometimes even forgets one of his wheels at home to go for a ride on his unicycle. Papworth also speaks Spanish and enjoys learning about different cultures. We are pleased to have Duke at Utah State University.
Welcome, Duke.
For the last 4 years, Nathan Madsen has been self-employed as a mobile heavy equipment mechanic. Prior to that, he worked for Caterpillar in the mining maintenance industry for over 10 years. Madsen's current career will be instructing the electronic side of industrial mechanics and controls. His goal is to help fill the need for skilled technicians in the workforce. Madsen enjoys hunting, fishing, camping, boating, and spending time with family and friends. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Nate.
Dr. Hanok Haile most recently worked for Quest Diagnostics Nichols Institute in Chantilly, Virginia. He earned his doctorate in clinical laboratory diagnosis, master's degree in biochemistry and bachelor's degree, and associate degree in MLT and MLS. Haile received his education at Anhui Medical University, China Suez Canal University, Faculty of Medicine, Egypt Mima University, and Ethiopia American Society of Clinical Pathology. Haile's focus is to be an active and major participant in the success of the MLT program. He wants to work in collaboration with other staff for the achievement of USU Eastern goals and betterment of the Price community. We welcome you to Utah State University.
Welcome, Hanok.
Diane Wright received her Master's of Science from Texas A&M. She most recently worked at Canyonlands Care Center in Moab, Utah. Her focus as a professional practice instructor in CNA health professions with instruction and coordination of the programs at the USU Moab campus. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Diane.
Brighton Betty has a Bachelor's of Science from BYU Idaho in Automotive Engineering Technology. Most recently, Brighton has been working for Ford Motor Company as a technical support analyst, helping technicians at dealerships in the US and Canada to diagnose and repair vehicles. His main area of focus at USU will be teaching automotive technology in Moab, Utah. Brighton's hobbies include being outside, hiking, fishing, hunting, and four-wheeling. He also enjoys designing and building with his 3D printer. We're pleased to have Brighton at USU.
Welcome, Brighton.
Ashley Ann Child is from Price, Utah, and went to school at Carbon High. Her hobbies include golfing, camping, riding side-by-sides, and spending time with her husband Justin, and playing with her dog Jet. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Ashley.
Megan McFall has lived in 9 states throughout her life, but claims Logan as her hometown because that's where family is. She went to school at Utah State University and enjoys traveling, cooking, reading, going out with friends, and spending every spare minute with her new nephew. As far as family goes, Megan is in sole possession of the remote control and favorite aunt of her nephew Oliver. Megan's mother, Adri Roberts, leaves a 30-year legacy with USU Extension and hopes to have a significant impact as her mother did throughout her career. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Megan. Okay, some additional faculty and staff you can see there. Spencer Spotted Elk in the health professions, new faculty member, and then Travis Whitfield, also in the health professions as an instructor. So why don't we give a round of applause to welcome all of these new colleagues to our college. We're excited to have all of these new folks a part of us, and obviously it's obvious the diversity of the programs that we have in the college, and that's, to me, is very exciting. Nutrition, dietetics, and food sciences. Okay, Heidi Wengren is the new department head of that department, and some new hires in there. Okay, did I see something wrong here? First one's not happening. Thank you.
Is a registered dietitian and earned her Bachelor of Science in Dietetics from Utah State University in 2015 and her Master's in Dietetics Administration in 2017. Originally hailing from Nevada, Alyssa was impressed with the agricultural community that Utah State University had to offer and transferred from the University of Nevada, Reno in 2011. Alyssa has worked in a variety of capacities at USU, including working for the Dolores Storer Eccles Early Education Center, being a teaching assistant for the MDA program, and instructing courses within the NDFS department. Her passion resides within the management realm of dietetics, and she is excited for the opportunity to teach the food service management courses this next year. Alyssa enjoys spending time with her family, including her husband Tyrell and 2 kids, Bo and Sage. She also enjoys cooking, gardening, playing tennis, and being outdoors. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Alyssa.
Jill Henderson's blood is as blue as it gets. As a native of Logan, she hails from a long line of Aggies, 3 of whom also taught at Utah State University. Jill graduated from the dietetics program before going on to be in the first graduating cohort of the MPH nutrition program. Before joining the NDFS faculty, Jill spent the last 5 years precepting students in the dietetics program and being involved in various parts of the NDFS and FEH programs. This upcoming year, she will be teaching the community nutrition labs and a communication and nutrition class, as well as continuing to mentor students in the Master of Public Health Nutrition program. Jill is married to her amazing husband she has known since the 8th grade. Together they have 4 kids and a fabulous son-in-law. Outside of work, she is very passionate about watching sports and traveling. As a former travel agent, Jill almost always enjoys the planning of a vacation as much as the vacation itself. Ultimately, she is happiest just hanging out with her family. Jill is excited about her new role at Utah State University and looks forward to carrying on the family tradition at USU. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Jill.
Pratik Sharma is an experienced dairy food scientist with more than 10 years of research experience of working in multinational and diverse environments. He earned his PhD in food technology from the Reddit Institute at Massey University in New Zealand, and his master's in food science from the Technical University in Dublin, Ireland, and his bachelor's degree in dairy technology from his home country in India. Before joining the NDFS faculty, Pratik was working as a Marie Curie postdoctoral fellow at CAAS Food Research Centre in Moorpark, Ireland, on EU-funded project on diffusion of small solutes within cheese matrices. Pratik is very passionate about applying scientific principles in real-life situations. He has a strong interest in learning more about the material properties of the dairy foods, especially cheese. He is particularly interested in finding answers to research questions, such as how can different types of structures be created in dairy foods, and how do those material characteristics affect their consumer suitability in the context of taste, texture, shelf life, and nutrient delivery. Pratik is excited for the research and teaching opportunity in the dairy processing at Utah State University, since it has earned global reputation in dairy foods research. He is looking forward to contributing to an intellectual environment at USU and to the Dairy Foods Research Program within the NDFS department. Pratik enjoys nature's beauty around Logan with his wife Barty and his 2 kids, a son, Hatam, and his daughter, Prama. He likes reading, sharing experiences, working in the backyard, listening to old Bollywood songs, and playing badminton. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Pratik.
Liz Vadenlas is originally from San Diego, California, but grew up in Spanish Fork, Utah. She earned her associates at UVU and bachelor's in accounting and finance at USU. Liz's hobbies include weightlifting, spending time with her husband and family, and do-it-yourself projects. Her most recent project was a stone fireplace. Liz and her husband James have been married for a year and a half and have a dog/son named Max. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Liz.
Zachary Cooper is from Erta, Utah, and graduated from Stansbury High School. He received his undergraduate and MS degree from Utah State University in food science. While at Utah State, he researched fats, oils, milk fat, and cocoa butter, and also participated in several product development competitions. He also participated in the USU Jump Rope Club, Collegiate 4-H, and USU Water Polo Club. He was employed with Dairy Gold, Sweets Candy Company, and Taffy Town prior to his current position managing the Aggie Chocolate Factory. He believes everything is better with chocolate, even the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences. Welcome to Utah State University.
Welcome, Zach. From our development group.
Nicholas Ardema is from North Ogden, Utah, and went to Weaver High School and then to Utah State, where he earned his bachelor and master's degree from our college in the NDFS department. He was also an Ag ambassador during his time as an undergraduate. His hobbies include being in the outdoors, hiking, mountain biking, fishing, gardening, and being with family. His wife Hannah is also a CAAS alumna in dietetics. They have a daughter named Victoria and a second child on the way. Nick brings a great love of USU and passion for our college. We are thrilled to have him as part of our development team. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Nick. Glad to have you aboard. Our marketing group, led by Mike Whitesides.
McKay Jensen is from Bountiful, Utah, and went to Woods Cross High School. He graduated from Utah State University last fall with a degree in journalism and communications and minors in computer science and multimedia. McKay has been working for CAAS since his freshman year at USU and was able to transition into full-time after graduation. This summer, McKay married his wife, Rachel, who used to work as a student receptionist on the 4th floor of the AGR's building. McKay loves film and photography and loves to snowboard and skateboard. He considers himself to be a music and movie buff. We welcome McKay to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, McKay. Glad to have you with us. Student Services, led by Brian Warnick.
Mariah Pace Spencer grew up in Elwood, Utah, and graduated from Bear River High School. While at Utah State, she served as a CAAS ambassador and on the CAAS Council, and worked as a marketing and communications assistant for the CAAS marketing team. She is a graduate of Utah State University's COVID class of 2020, with a degree in agricultural communication and journalism and a minor in animal science. Mariah enjoys all things outdoors, and she loves playing sports and eating Aggie Bull Tracks ice cream. She is married to fellow Aggie Tristan Spencer, who is a student in the mechanical engineering program. Mariah loves Utah State and is excited to help potential students see all the opportunities that await them in the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences. We're pleased to have Mariah at Utah State University.
Welcome, Mariah. We're going to keep you busy. Now, our Business Services unit, Brian Arnell.
Randy Kendrick is from Providence, Utah, and attended Utah State University. She enjoys soccer, boating, skating, and pretty much anything outdoors. Along with her parents, Randy has 4 sisters and 1 brother. Randy also has 2 dogs that are like kids. Welcome to the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences.
Welcome, Randy.
Val Potter is originally from Box Elder County, where he grew up on a cattle ranch and farm. He graduated from Bear River High School and graduated from Utah State University with a degree in business administration. Potter has worked for 15 years at USU, mostly as executive director of development in the College of Engineering. He worked for 23 years in international business, where he worked with engineering and manufacturing companies. Potter has traveled to 52 countries and all U.S. states. Potter enjoys skiing, hiking, and outdoor sports and has completed 10 marathons. He has served as North Logan Mayor and City Council, Cache County Council, and State Legislator. Potter has 3 grown children and 9 grandchildren. We are pleased to have Val Potter at Utah State University.
Welcome, Val. Happy to have you a part of the team. Now, this next slide is, I think, the one that everybody's been looking for. So, how long is this? Okay, 5 minutes. So it is 10:08. So we'll start back at about 10:13, 10:14. So those of you who are at home, you know, or wherever you are remote, take 5 minutes. Everybody here, at least stand up and let's take a little bit of a break. So again, if we can kind of come back and take our seats, I'd like to introduce our guest this morning, who's going to give us a presentation. I think they'll be very valuable. So our next guest is, I'm very familiar with, he's one of our our extension faculty from the College of Education. He's known as Dr. Dave on campus and across the country. Dave Schramm is an associate professor and family life extension specialist at Utah State University in the Department of Human Development and Family Studies. After graduating with his PhD from Auburn, he worked as a professor at the University of Missouri for 9 years. Since arriving at USU in 2016, he's been appointed by Governor Gary Herbert to serve on Utah's Commission on Marriage. He appears on television monthly on Fox 13's The Place, and he shares tips and videos on social media to help individuals, parents, and couples thrive in their life journeys. From British Columbia to Beijing, China, and from St. Louis to San Diego, Dr. Dave has given over 500 presentations, classes, and workshops to a variety of audiences, including the United Nations and a TEDx talk in Florida. So without further ado, Dave, could you come forward, please, and take the reins here? That's an animal science term, by the way.
Yeah, it's good to get used to that.
Let's see.
Yeah,
do you mind?
Actually easier.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Wow, all right. I should have brought a mask, actually, huh? That's what I should have done. I'm excited to be here. This is actually super. Can you tell that I'm excited to be here? So I'm excited to be here because this is one of the first face-to-face presentations. It's just not quite the same on Zoom, is it? It's really, for those who are listening on Zoom, it's not quite the same. So I'm thrilled to be able to talk about a little bit of the research that I've done and then the application of that. And so I really enjoy studying about happiness and positivity and parenting and couple relationships. So, but I realized the slide is not quite up to date, so I did make a little modification. So now we're ready to go, right? With the masks. It's such an interesting time that we live in, but we adapt, we adjust, and we're resilient. So let me start by, I couldn't be a family scholar without having a family picture, right? So this is the Schramm fam. This is, I call it PMD. Remember the pre-mask days? Those were good days. Do you remember those? That was awesome. We'll get back to those days, I'm sure we will. But let me start with Harold and Marge. Harold and Marge, they live in Minnesota, and it was a particularly icy winter, and they decided we gotta get out of here. Let's go to Florida. So they booked some tickets to Florida, but their schedules didn't align. So Harold, he had to fly down a day earlier on Friday, and Marge is gonna come down on Saturday, the next day. So Harold, he gets into the hotel, he checks in, says, oh, they've got internet, I'm gonna send my wife an email. He gets on, he sends her an email, but without realizing, he misses one letter in her email address, and he hits send. Meanwhile, in Houston, a widow just comes home from her husband's funeral. He's a pastor at the local church. She's devastated. She gets on her computer, checks her email, and after reading the first email, she screams. She passes out, faints, falls on the floor. Her son comes rushing into the room. He looks at the screen, and it says, I've arrived, in the subject line. Hello, honey. I know you're surprised to hear from me. They have computers here now, and you're allowed to send emails to your loved ones. I've just arrived and been checked in. I see that everything has been prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hope your journey is as uneventful as mine was. P.S. It sure is stinking hot down here. Love you, honey. Love you. Now, we're going to be talking about today, one of the key places of workplace cultures is humor. And I'll get into that a little bit as we talk. But first, let me ask you two questions. And I've asked these same two questions to almost 2,000 people, all ages and backgrounds. Number one, if I died tomorrow, what I would miss the very most would be, and fill in the blank. What would it be? And number two, to me, life is all about, and fill in the blank. Now, I asked people just one or two words. What would you put in there? Then I analyzed this, and I found some interesting answers. First, I learned the importance of wording in a question. As a researcher, I should have known better. Do you see anything weird with the wording in that one? So I had some smart Alecs who said things like, I'd be dead, breathing. That's what I would miss most. Another one, right? I'd be dead. I can't miss anything when you're dead, dude. Other people said things like, Chick-fil-A. That's what they would miss the most. This next one actually probably really applies to this audience, and someone actually, maybe in this room, put, my cows. My cows. That's what I would miss. I think very relevant, right, for this audience. But overall, 86% said family, children, relationships. That's what they would miss. About 14% said life or laughter, experiences, or nothing. Okay, second question. How would you answer this? To me, life is all about, and fill in the blank. Now look at this, about what, 45% family, children, and relationships. Others talked about happiness, helping, serving others, the journey, God, religion. Okay, what's missing from this list? It's work, and it's money. In fact, less than 2% said anything related to money or work. Now, right, Dean White, now that doesn't mean that we don't enjoy our work, but life is really about what? What happens outside of work. It's about relationships, it's about people. In fact, I tell that my kids every day when they walk out the door. Today was the first day of school for our 7th grader, and I said, remember, Hayden, people are more important than problems. It's like, I know, Dad, people are more important than problems, because I've drilled that into their heads. It's relationships. That's what life is about. So before COVID hit the fan, January, I was able to fulfill one of these dreams to do a TEDx talk in Florida. And you see the topic was family fundamentals, or the secret sauce to booming business. And so in that, I talk about how families, if successful families can be a model for businesses, then it would do well. All businesses would learn how to have healthy relationships from families. That's what means most to people, and that's what I study. And so then I was able to take some of these findings that I'll share and to share them with businesses as well. First, it's important to start out, all of us have 3 fundamental human needs. We're all born with 3 fundamental human needs. The first one is safety. And this one is very prominent, especially right now. The schools and everything opened up. They are focused on primarily, and they always have been, but especially this year, it's safety, physical and emotional safety. And so for us, for businesses, it's about a paycheck, it's about benefits, it's about being able to provide the needs. And when that need is met, the result is peace. Second need that we all have is satisfaction. We all need to do things that are fun. In work, that means I need to be able to do things that are enjoyable, that I love learning and growing and getting out in the field and doing things that bring meaning. Meaning is a big one. This desire to acquire stuff, to learn and to grow, professional development. I need to do those things, or else work is just horrible if I'm not having fun and I don't enjoy what I do. Third need that we all have is connection. We're all born with this longing for belonging, this craving for connection with other human beings. It's a huge part of us that drives us. Even gangs, when you think about it, they have this need to connect with somebody, to be accepted by others. And when that need is met, the feeling is love. So we'll come back and I'll actually quiz you on those 3 fundamental human needs. Okay, and savvy businesses, they're catching on. They know about these 3 human needs. And so as I drive down the freeway, don't turn me in, but I'm notorious for taking pictures of billboards. So, have you seen this one? Think family. I think, wait a minute, as a family scholar, why are they saying family? Think family, that's the billboard. Another one, the same dealership, right? This young says, think caring. You drive down, you see, welcome home, RC Willie, welcome home. Home loans feel like home. So they have the words home and family in these billboards. Others, have you seen these, Hanson? Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, they say. People, not employees. Have you seen this one near the point of the mountain? And write cool code down in Utah County and still see who? Your family. Why? Because they know that family matters more than anything in this life. It's family. That's what the number one thing. Others, a new approach to family time starts here, or kindness is key. This is an interesting one. Look at this. They meet all 3 fundamental needs in one billboard. I thought this is fascinating. Fascinating is kind of a nerdy way, right, when you're looking at billboards. But look at this. great benefits, and a generous 401k match. That meets the need of safety. What about satisfaction? Oh, personal recognition. We'll recognize you here and make you happy. And the need for connection, we're family oriented. Interesting that that one nails all three human needs. I went to Auburn University. This one was huge. I would say more so than almost any other university. This is everywhere you go. It's in the billboard, on the billboards, it's on t-shirts. Just take a look at all of the places that this one is. Together as one. Family, all in. At the beginning of football games, family flashes on the billboards over and over, and the crowd goes wild. I even got an email then from Auburn University as an alumni, and this is what it said. Dear Dr. Schramm, what makes Auburn Auburn? The answers vary, but one thing is sure, our concept of family. The Auburn family is unique. So donate to us. That's what the rest of the email says. But isn't that interesting that that is all over? They use that word on purpose, that family word on purpose. Okay, 2019, you remember March Madness? It was canceled in 2020. But in 2019, March Madness, I'm a huge sports fan, watching what was, every year they have a theme. They have a different theme. 2019, if you remember, was family. The players had it, the fans had it, you could, in all the stores, that was the word. It was on all theirs. And Olive Garden, what's Olive Garden's slogan? Used to be. When you're here, you're family. Interesting that how pervasive that this concept is. So I decided to do my own little research on what makes the best workplaces in the whole United States. I wanted to study those, and so Inc.com, they actually do a survey the last several years. They send it out to all kinds of companies. In fact, this last one, I've actually, the numbers just came in for 2020. That nearly 2,000 companies applied, 139,000 employees surveyed, and they asked them, they want to know what makes the best work cultures and the places to work in the United States. So 346 made the list, the top workplaces in the United States. So then I looked at each workplace, all 346, and then they had 100 words to describe why we're a great place to work. How would you do that? If you had 100 words at USU or in your college, 100 words, why is USU a great place to work? How would you describe it? So that's what I did. I did a word analysis, and I looked at every one of these. And then I visited some of the ones here in Utah. Maloof actually made the list. I went down to Salt Lake, and I visited some others. I interviewed, I talked to them. What makes this a great workplace? So here's the results. Here's some of the results from the 2019. Now you look at the words. I don't know how much, if you could see those words. This is how the frequent each word was mentioned. Now look at that list. What sticks out? What words and categorized? And I thought, wait a second, now this is very interesting. What are the three needs? Safety, satisfaction, and connection. So now the top workplaces, the top cultures are meeting these same three needs. Safety, you look at this. Environment, the benefits are great. That's what makes this a great place to work. The help, the support I get, they meet that need. What about satisfaction? Fun. This is a fun, that word was used a lot. This environment is fun. It's enjoyable. It has some great perks and opportunities for growth, for me to do something, go somewhere. What about the last one? Connection. That third need. What do the top places to work, what are they doing? Wow, you see that. Culture, team. And then the ninth most frequently used word, that's my area again, family. I thought, how interesting that they're using this. So as I said, here's one example of the 346. Here's one example of what they said. We have genuinely fostered a culture of teamwork, collaboration, and excellence, and each team member embodies our cherished core values that bind us together like family. We're not simply coworkers, but a family who all strive toward a common goal, to help each other succeed in every way possible. So there that was. So now the secret sauce is starting to stir and simmer in my brain a little bit about what is this? And how, if whatever it is, and I discover this, I've got to share this now with others, with businesses and cultures, so they can improve culture and morale within their organization. So come back to this. Here's another quote. I said it in this TEDx. I realized that the very best places to work have a clear understanding that what is most important to their employees is not their job, it's their family. That's what's most important to their employees. And when organizations and businesses focus on improving people's happiness, health, and relationships at home, and here's the kicker, treat them like family at work, that those employees will gladly give their very best on the job. And I found that time after time after time. People don't leave organizations for the most part. People leave bosses. That's what it is. They didn't get along. I have a nephew and niece who just, each of them left a place. They couldn't take the culture. It was stifling. It was too much. So the relationships were horrible. So here's our life. If we boil down our life in a 24-hour day, we each get these 24 hours. How do you divide that up? We divide it, I say the personal life, roughly 8 hours. There's the professional life, right, roughly 8 hours. And I call this the pleasant life, where we were just a few hours ago in our beds, asleep. We spend about a third of our lives asleep. So come back to these, and these areas, right, they affect each other. If I don't sleep well, I'm going to be grumpy at home, maybe with my kids or my partner or spouse. I'm not going to do as well at work. And you can see these. If I'm having a really struggle time with my wife, I've just gotten a huge argument, then I go to work, where's my mind? Yeah, it's not on work. So all three of these, they really interact with each other. So personal life, if I'm flourishing when I meet those needs of safety, satisfaction, and connection. So prior to 1890, and we'll talk about that in a minute, this is really what it was. The personal and family life, they were linked. I go out on the farm, I'm with my kids, I'm with my family. So work was family. Work and personal time. We had fun together, we laughed together, we worked a lot. But this is probably more realistic, wasn't it? It's about 4 hours of sleep, and then we get up at 4 a.m., and then we work until midnight or so. So this is probably more realistic. So this is this agrarian society forever and ever and ever. In fact, for thousands of years, there was no such thing as going to work. Work was where you lived. That's what work was. So this idea of actually going to someplace else to work, to have a work culture is relatively new. So the Industrial Revolution kicks in. So the idea then is if we can meet our needs of safety, satisfaction, connection in our professional life, that those are the places that flourish. So what do you think? What percent of businesses, as I started to see, okay, I wonder what percent of workplaces actually have all three of those needs met? And it turns out only about 36%. And I call them flourishing places. And I interviewed and surveyed the employees, and they said yes. Safety, absolutely. Great paycheck, satisfaction. It's a wonderful time here. Great perks. And connection, absolutely. About 37% said yeah, safety and satisfaction. About 22% said surviving. It's basically a paycheck. And about 5% said no, this is awful. The paycheck's not even enough. No opportunities for satisfaction or growth or connection or anything. So here is the secret sauce. Looking at what makes for strong families, we turn to the research. What is it? It's cohesion. It's this feeling of togetherness. It's this and just what Dean White was talking about earlier, about yes, we celebrate one another. We show pictures of new faculty. We show accomplishments, that we're a team, the College of Ag. And then within your department, this feeling of cohesion. That's number one. Flexibility, the ability to change and adjust, right? What we're doing now today with that ability, and communication, the ability to negotiate and communicate. There's going to be conflicts and disagreements, but we do so with respect. And I would say that these 10 areas that some colleagues and I have really studied, it turns out that this is the area. Look no further. If you want a positive work culture, adopt these 10 areas and you will flourish. You'll flourish. In fact, look at the number one, gratitude and recognition. Research has shown that those who feel like that they are recognized, and we have some recognition right here, some awards, some things that you do to celebrate accomplishments. When people feel recognized, they experience a 23% increase in their workload, right? And their efforts at work. Now, that's wonderful to be recognized. The research also shows those who felt, beyond feeling recognized, those who felt valued and cared for experienced a 46% increase in their work productivity. So 23%, it's nice to be recognized. 46% when I feel valued and personally cared for. So gratitude, that can be a simple text message. Hey, it's so great to have you on your team. In department meetings, we express gratitude. The second one, kindness and service. This one will improve relationships about faster than anything else I know. When someone serves you, does something nice, hey, you know, I brought you a Diet Coke or your coffee or whatever it is, it's something small and nice. If you want to build relationships, you do something kind, that's unexpected, that you serve, that you turn outward. Humor and fun, this is a big one. This one's a big one for me and relationships. You're building those relationships, it's a fun environment, there's laughing, it's not so rigid. Okay, your faculty meeting, we're gonna start and this is what we're gonna do. But they're able to relax and to have fun. Awareness and support, I love this one. Being aware, do you know what's going on in your colleagues' personal lives outside of work? Within work, do you know what kind of projects they're working on? What grants they're submitting? Are you checking in? Are you aware? Are you supportive of their lives? Like, oh, wow, yeah, didn't you just have a senior graduate high school in 20? How was that? Man, was that really hard? See that? But that takes work to then to have interest in people's lives. But when they have that, you're creating this culture of connection. This time together, we have celebrations, we have faculty meetings, we have these times together, we get in committee meetings, we celebrate, like here, we celebrate together. Acceptance and forgiveness. All kinds of stuff's gonna happen within departments and personalities, and yes, there's gonna be time when we clash and be able to say, okay, this person's not my favorite person, I accept that, and I forgive them and be able to move on. Generosity and helpfulness. Hey, can I help you with this project? Looks like you're struggling. Is there something that I can do to be helpful? Openness and disclosure, commitment and trust. All hallmarks of what, I haven't even talked about business. These are the fundamentals of flourishing families. And yet when you take the lessons learned from families and you put them in the workplace, in the departments, in the culture, that is the secret sauce. And if I could summarize it in 2 words, happiness and relationships at home and at work are founded on an outward mindset. An outward mindset, because all of these are not about me. It's about someone else. I'm thinking, I'm expressing gratitude to someone else. I'm kind to someone else. I'm helpful to someone else. So that really is the secret sauce. You want a happy place to work, you adopt what makes for happy families and human relationships. So here this is an example of one. How many have been Zoomed out? You know, starting in March, we started having Zoom meetings and it was just like, At first it was like, okay, this is good. And then this is a team that Brian Higginbotham and I and Kate Bradford and some others, we have a team of educators throughout the state. We meet every Wednesday. We have a meeting. I'm in charge of the first Wednesday of the month. So we meet together and I thought, we've got to change this up. This is getting stale. And so I said, all right, next meeting, we're all dressing up, dang it. And I want you to come on and bring your costume and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna change things up. And so we did. We changed things up and that's that part of humor. We're able to laugh and to share. And I love these people. I love this team. I know almost everything about them because then some of the meetings, we have time to share the good things that are going on in their lives. And so we have this cohesion and this culture, this is one where people feel valued, accepted, and loved and committed. I know about their families. And so that is what makes this unique. So I think humor is key. So there's mine. I actually ordered this one as well. My wife wouldn't let me wear this one today. But this one, and I think, yes, this is it. This is a key fundamental part of, especially our time with the stress, the anxiety, and the mental health and the struggles that are going on. This one I highly recommend. When I got here, I talked to Scott Allgood, our department head, and I said, Scott, we've got to do this. I said, we need to start every faculty meeting with the good news. In my classes, every single class, I start with the good news minute. and I have 1 minute of just good news, and I say, all right, tell me the good news, the good things that are happening in your lives. And it forces the brain then to focus on and remember and share the good news. I encourage you to do that in faculty meetings, in your classrooms. Start with the good news about their personal life. It doesn't have anything to do with school, it can, but just ask them about their lives. That's the key. So asking them about their lives and what good news are going on. The happy thoughts. In our family, in the Schramm family, every single night, we have a happy thought. In our family, we have a family prayer, and then I share one thing that made me happy that day. My wife shares one thing, and then each of our 4 children share one thing that made them happy that day. Because what you're doing is you're creating a happiness mindset, and that is critical. So you're wired and then to focus on the good. Because when we're born into this life, we're born with 5 times as many neurons that are wired for negativity and threat, for every one that is wired for positivity and opportunity. So already we're wired to notice the negative and the yucky stuff. Just turn on the news and you see it's negative, 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 90% of just negative stuff. So focusing on talking about being positive in the present. Our high school, Green Canyon High School, Dave Swinson. Some of you know Dave. Amazing, amazing principal. The students love him. Why? Why is that a great culture there? It starts with him. He is so positive, talking and he goes to all their activities. He shows up, he's there. And on Thursdays, he has, what do they call that? The positive and the president. And he shares something. All right, everybody, he has all the students, get on your cell phones right now. Pull them out, students, get out. Now you text something to someone that's positive. Right now, everyone send a text to somebody. It could be your mom or another student. And he's focused on that positive mindset. That's why it creates that positive culture that ripples down at Green Canyon High School. Other high schools may be the same. This is our experience with that one. So here, this is an interesting part of happy families and in relationships. In marriages, for example, most people tend to like about 80% of their partner, and they wish there was about 20% that was a little bit different. I wish I could change a little bit about this person, maybe their personality, maybe their mannerisms, maybe they smack when they chew their food or whatever it is. We wish there was 20% that was different. And even some people get divorced and they're remarried thinking, I finally found a 100% person. No, it doesn't matter the relationships. And I would suggest that in our professional lives, there's about 80% of the job that you like, you love. And there's about 20% that reporting, whatever it is, that drives you nuts, that you wish was different. But when we can learn to accept the 20%, but focus on the 80%, because what happens in work culture is if now we get this email, now we're required to do certain things, and we just grumble and gripe, and this place is awful. When we focus on the 20%, it feels like 80%. That's what happens. In our relationships and at work, if you talk about the 20%, you're grumbling to other people, you're complaining about leadership to other people, the 20%, then it festers and it grows. But focus on, talk about, share the 80% that you do like, and that will spread faster than COVID. Positivity spreads like a virus. So striving to be positive, happy, uplifting. So this is one of the principles, and I'll conclude with this. People like happy people, period. Study after study has shown that. The best teachers, the ones that get the highest ratings, they're the happy ones, they're the ones that are up there, they're engaging, they're giving high five, well, they're giving air fives, right, to students. They're engaged, they're happy people. And here's what I call and I do entire presentations just on this pyramid, but I call it the positivity pyramid, and I've adapted a little bit for this. At the bottom of this is a positive, flourishing person. You want a better culture at work, you want better relationships in life, positive, happy person, that is fundamental. Relationships at home, you're much happier to be around at home if you're a positive, happy person. At work, when things are going well at home and you're a positive, happy person, it spreads into relationships at work. And before you can teach anything or correct students or faculty or anything else, it's having that relationship. If you don't have a relationship with somebody, the way they hold their fork can drive you crazy. If you do have a great relationship with somebody, you can spill your entire lunch in their lap and they don't mind because the relationship is strong. So the key to all this is connection. Safety, satisfaction, and connection are those 3 needs. So I'll wrap up with these motivating words from our 8-year-old daughter. How many of you have children, young children? Anyone, young kiddos? Yes. There are those days that you just can't get them to bed fast enough. You're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done as a parent. I remember going there 8, 6, 4, and 2, where our 4 kids, and it's just craziness. We're both tired. Stay in your beds, dang it. And it's like, stay in your bed. You start yelling, you start getting crazy at them. And then you're like, $20 bill for anyone who stays in their bed. Please, just stay in your bed, dang it. It was one of those nights, not my finest moment. And this is in Missouri, and I come home. Okay, you get the kids to bed. Don't stay in your beds. And I go back to my room, and what do I hear? A few minutes later, coming down the hallway toward our bedroom door, and then I waited for a second. I heard something on the door, and then I yelled, get back to your room, and I hear, run back off down the hall. I go to the door, I open it up, and there's a note. There's a note from our 8-year-old daughter, and this is a picture of the actual note. And she says, thanks a lot. I know it can be hard being a mom or dad, but you got to stick with it. I just thought, oh my goodness, right? Here's this PhD in family studies, and I'm losing it with our kids. And then you see that it says, look on back. You see that? Look on back on the side. So I flip the note over, and it says, don't worry, we still love you. I think, and we blow it. We blow it at work. We lose it with our colleagues. We lose it with students. We get impatient. Talk about patience and the importance of sticking with it this semester. We don't know how long it is, actually. We don't know what's going to happen. It's this unpredictability. But I know as you strive to apply and meet those needs of the students and the faculty of safety, satisfaction, and connection, that is the secret sauce to positive workplaces. So thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Steve.
That one.
Thank you. We have a little gift for you here. Don't run off yet. I understand this is something that you'll really appreciate.
Oh, yes.
Those are for you.
In a jar. Yeah, speaking of happiness.
Thanks a lot. So we will now segue to, I think, our awards. I think one thing, and obviously if you haven't noticed, the new mask came in. And hopefully you can see my mouth and a little bit more of my face. That may not be a good thing. One highlight that I thought was worth mentioning that didn't get on the slides, but has had a huge impact in several communities in the state, is our partnership that was really led by Heidi LeBlanc in the Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences Department in partnership with, and it's kind of been an extension, but it's also involved a lot of the college faculty. And that's the partnership with Farm Bureau to have the program Farmers Feeding Utah. They've had 3 miracle projects, one that donated several, I can't even remember the numbers, but I want to say like 10,000 pounds of lamb to the Utah Navajo Nation down in the southeast part of the state, along with several live animals. And I know Kinda and I think it was Ruby got a grant that purchased a substantial amount of alfalfa hay that was delivered, I think, about a week or week and a half ago down there to help feed and sustain those lambs. We had a second one that was up here in northern Utah that involved Box Elder Cache and Rich County food pantries, and then one that was in West Salt Lake. And then there's going to be a fourth one toward the end of the month in September. But these are the idea behind this is obviously not only are people within our communities in dire straits and needing food and other assistance, but some of our alumni who are farmers and producers in the state that haven't been able to get some of their products to market. The donations that have been raised in this have gone to pay for the products. So some of those farmers can get some financial compensation for those products. And then those products then have been delivered to the people in food pantries in those areas that have been in really big need. Now, just one short story, and I know we got to finish up. One short story, we had about a half a semi load, and I participated, the president participated in the one up here, as did I. I also spent the whole time in Salt Lake helping deliver some of the food. And, you know, there are people that would come through that were sobbing as, you know, you put commodities in their cars as they, you know, drove through. But just thousands and thousands of people. But the interesting story was when we finished the West Salt Lake effort, there was about a half a semi load of food that was left. So Heidi called around and contacted one of our extension faculty in Ogden and made arrangements to deliver that half a semi to the pantry in Ogden the next morning. Well, that night, somebody broke into that pantry and stole everything that was there. So it was very fortunate that we had that half a semi left over that was delivered to the pantry the next day to be able to meet the needs in that community following that unfortunate break-in. So anyway, that one I thought is one that we didn't highlight in the slides, but I think it's had a huge impact in very specific parts of the state and should be mentioned because, again, it involved a lot of extension, but it also involved a lot of our college faculty. Okay, so awards. I'll go through these slides fairly rapidly. We'll have videotapes of the awardees that we'll present. We have, again, because we have half of the departments here in the morning, half in the afternoon, some of our recipients will highlight in the video, but we'll wait until the afternoon session to actually give those folks their award, their plaques. When those that are going to receive, or those that are receiving on behalf of faculty, as I think Dr. Vanderwald is going to receive on behalf of a couple of faculty that are Zooming this morning, I'd ask you to please, as the video's playing, come up and stand over by the table. I'll point to the award. You can pick it up. We'll stand a few feet away from one another and get our picture taken by Bronson, okay? All right. So this first slide highlights some NACTA awardees. That's a national recognition for teaching excellence. And so we're very proud of these individuals, and please join me in congratulating all of them. Maybe they're going to get their recognition at the national award, I think this fall, or last fall or sometime, but no award, we just want to recognize them. So, drum roll please. The winner of the prestigious College of Agriculture Departmental Research Excellence Award is Plants, Soils, and Climate. So could the faculty that are here, I know it's probably not, it's not the whole department, but please stand and be recognized. Just awesome. If you look at the research dollars, these folks hit it out of the park. Research dollars per FTE is almost $400,000. Number of grants submitted per FTE was a little bit over 11. 68% of the grants were funded, which is just phenomenal. Amount requested was a bit over 2 million per FTE. And then the productivity of outputs, 9.2 publications per FTE. I mean, that is just outstanding. And then the publications with graduate students that I'm particularly excited to always look at are 2.5 publications per FTE with the graduate student. So again, congratulations to PSC for job well done in research, and we'll figure out a way to get you $25,000 that you can spend on additional research efforts in the department. So again, congratulations. Now, drum roll, please. Oh, come on, you got more drums than that. Let's go. All right. The prestigious Teaching of Excellence Award in the college goes to Applied Science, Technology, and Education. Congratulations. Any of the well, that's in the afternoon, sorry. So just again, a huge amount of output, idea average student ratings of over 52%, over 52. Response rate, huge. Teaching award nominees, 4. Teaching award recipients, 2. Retention, 79%. Awesome job, awesome job. And then faculty members that have participated in the USU Empowering Teaching Excellence, 10. Badging program course, 23, with a number of Empowering Teaching Excellence badges of 98 in that department. So congratulations, and again, we'll work out the 25 grand to be spent on furthering the teaching excellence in ASTE. So again, congratulations. So now our awardees. Lori, please come forward.
Lori Fajardo has held a position within CAAS for the past 27 years, and during that time, she has become a treasure trove of operational knowledge who always knows how to handle requests in every aspect of administrative need, be it travel, accounting, purchasing, student employment, or other personnel issues. Lori's work ethic, professionalism, and personal interactions with coworkers are truly of the highest caliber. She has a personality that is both warm and approachable, but quietly confident, and she is always on the spot and thoroughly completes tasks in a timely fashion. Her colleagues say they have never had a question or work problem that Lori was not able to help with or answer, and she has never hesitated to do so. Lori Fajardo's value in the smooth operation of the PSC department is simply incalculable. We appreciate Lori's contribution to the college, and we know she is very deserving of the 2020 Outstanding Service to Faculty Award.
Congratulations, Lori. Thank you. Now, our Faculty Researcher of the Year for 2021, 2020 to 2021. Irina Polozheva. Dirk will be accepting this award. Irina is watching via Zoom.
Is a professor in the Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Sciences Department. Her research includes production of transgenic animals using somatic cell nuclear transfer for biomedical and agricultural applications, genome editing to enhance livestock production traits and disease resistance, and improving the efficiency of somatic cell nuclear transfer. Her work in the area of developing transgenic large animal models for biomedical research and investigating human diseases has been truly groundbreaking. Work by Dr. Polyeva produced a transgenic goat model for human cancer and genetically modified sheep model for cystic fibrosis. Dr. Polyeva has established an outstanding research program supported by diverse external funding, including federal grants from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and the American Heart Association. Over the last 3 years, Dr. Polyeva secured over $6 million research dollars for 23 projects. In that same time, she published 12 peer-reviewed manuscripts and 10 peer-reviewed abstracts. It is clear that Dr. Irina A. Polyeva is very deserving of the 2020 Faculty Researcher of the Year Award. Please join me in congratulating her.
Next, our Teacher of the Year, Eloisa Rutigliano.
Dr. Eloisa Rutigliano was born and raised in Brazil, where she went to veterinary school at São Paulo State University. She moved to the United States to get her graduate degrees at the University of California, Davis, and came to USU to conduct her postdoctoral studies. Dr. Rutigliano is an assistant professor in the Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Sciences Department, where she currently teaches animal physiology, immunology, endocrinology, and veterinary ethics and professionalism. She is one of the top educational scholars across the entire department, and she is clearly driven to enhance teaching across not only the department, but the college and university. Since 2017, Dr. Rutigliano has trained and mentored 14 students. Notably, 6 of them have received awards at the annual ADBS Research Symposium. All of Dr. Rutigliano's teaching efforts are certainly hitting their mark, as she was recognized with the 2017 Outstanding Year 1 Teaching Award in the WIMU Regional Program in Veterinary Medicine. It is with great pleasure that we name Dr. Eloisa Rutigliano as the 2020 Teacher of the Year. Please join us in congratulating her.
Congratulations to both of those faculty. Hopefully they enjoyed that via Zoom. And I suggested maybe Bronson, Photoshop their faces on your body, and we use those on the web shops. Yeah, you can do amazing things with that Photoshop stuff. So our Graduate Research Mentor of the Year is Kinda Curtis.
Kinda Curtis has been involved with mentoring 17 graduate students during her 10-year career here at USU. Dr. Curtis has had a 3-way split appointment in extension, research, and teaching, and has helped students understand what it takes to be successful in each of these disciplines. She pushes her students, and they subsequently graduate on time and are well trained. Dr. Curtis is a very successful grant writer and has used some of those funds to augment her graduate student assistantships and to provide opportunities for them to travel to professional meetings and present their work. Her students do well, and their research is relevant and expertly conducted. Many have published or presented their original research. Dr. Kinda Curtis's dedication to the success of her students, not only during their studies, but continuing also after graduation, makes her an excellent choice for the 2020 Graduate Research Mentor of the Year Award.
Congratulations, Kinda. Well done. Next, our Undergraduate Research Mentor of the Year, Tyson Sorensen. Now, Tyson will be accepting the award in the afternoon session, but we'll hear a little bit about him and his accomplishments.
Dr. Tyson J. Sorensen joined the ASTE department as an assistant professor of agricultural education in August 2015, and since then, he has actively engaged undergraduate students in research. Dr. Sorensen is committed to student success, and he models the behavior of a researcher for the students to emulate. He allows the students to express interest in doing research, and then he provides the support to allow the students to learn the processes. His approach is totally student-driven, while he serves as a role model and mentor to ensure the process is implemented, to have the valid outcomes from their project, and to allow students to maintain a high level of commitment to their project. Dr. Sorensen also encourages the students to share results with the profession. Much of the success is due to his approach of setting high expectations for the student's experience. For his role in inspiring student research, it is with great pleasure that we present Dr. Tyson J. Sorensen with the 2020 Undergraduate Research Mentor of the Year Award.
Our Undergraduate Faculty Mentor of the Year is Andreas Wiesman. He will also be accepting his award in our afternoon session.
Andreas Baron Wiesman has a passion for living and enjoying life. He is loved and respected by his students. Baron makes people feel comfortable with his constant smile and his welcoming attitude. His attitude of service allows students to approach him without hesitation, because they know that Baron will listen and help them in any way possible. He is currently faculty advisor for at least 5 student clubs or organizations, which gives students the opportunity to get to know him on a more personal level. This allows him to mentor them in not just the classroom, but also in life, because they know him and trust him. Baron has been an integral part in helping a significant number of students reach their career goals. A former student said, "I doubt there is any way to truly count how many people Professor Wiesman has influenced in his few short years as a professor. For his example and passion, we are proud to name Andreas Barrett-Huseman as the 2020 Undergraduate Faculty Mentor of the Year.
Our Faculty University Service Award, and again, Denise will be here in the afternoon to accept her award. Denise Stewartson.
Denise Stewartson is an Extension Associate Professor and Director of the Utah Agriculture in the Classroom program at Utah State University. As a faculty member in the Department of Applied Sciences, Technology, and Education, she teaches a social science-based agricultural literacy course on global food production for students of all majors. Denise also serves as an honors admission reviewer, as well as a member of the faculty committee and instructor for University Connections. She advocates for university students in regard to their academic success and retention, serving as a mentor for the Aggies First Scholars Program and as an active member of the Strategic Enrollment Management Plan Exploratory Advising Committee. She also serves as an advisor for the USU chapter of Days for Girls. Further, Denise is exceptional at providing positive input into faculty and staff selection committees and has served on several successful faculty search committees in the past couple of years. Denise has been an active contributor to the goals and mission of the department, college, and university, and we are happy to present her the 2020 Faculty University Service Award.
Next, our International Professor of the Year is Scott Jones. Please, Scott, join me up here.
Dr. Scott B. Jones is a professor of environmental soil physics in the Plants, Soils, and Climate Department. Dr. Jones's experience started early during his PhD work. Years of collaboration with Russian colleagues and numerous trips and projects there culminated in an experiment flying on the International Space Station. Dr. Jones has also had a long-term association with scientists and students in China, specifically at Northwest Agriculture and Forestry University and China Agricultural University. He is also the director of the International Partnership in Agriculture, Climate, and Environment, which allowed him to lead a 2019 study abroad to Taichung, Taiwan, with 8 students. His international collaborators are located in many countries across the globe, including Russia, Poland, Wales, Germany, Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, Spain, Israel, Brazil, China, and Taiwan. He has authored and co-authored over 80 publications with international scholars, half of which are with his own international students and visiting scholars from abroad. Due to his outstanding international impact, we are proud to name Dr. Scott B. Jones as the 2020 International Professor of the Year.
Congratulations, Scott. And I think that also comes with some funding. Our next award is a Distinguished Professor of the Year, and that recipient is Gary Strakwedine. And Gary will also collect his award in the afternoon session.
Dr. Gary Strakwedine has served in a variety of academic and leadership roles during his 32 years of work in higher education, almost all of which have been at USU. In his current role, he is responsible for the reformation of career and technical education in Southeast Utah. A true testament to the land-grant mission, he is working to reinvent CTE in Carbon, Emory, Grand, and San Juan counties to provide programs at Price, Moab, and Blanding. Dr. Strakwedine and his team have reinvented 29 CTE programs to offer more certificates of proficiency, certificates of completion, created stackable credentialing programs, and have developed workforce pathways for this underserved population. Gary has taught 10 different undergraduate and 11 different graduate courses, published over 100 research journal articles, papers, and presentations, and mentored 58 graduate students during his career. He has served on 28 committees across campus, including the USU-ZEU merger team and numerous promotion and tenure committees. For his tremendous work in advancing the college, please join me in recognizing Dr. Gary Strakwedine as the 2020 Distinguished Professor of the Year.
So a couple of closing slides before we go to lunch. So just a summary of some upcoming events that you might want to consider putting on your calendars. Those of you that are going to be dealing with e-dossier deadlines for the 6th review or for promotion or tenure consideration deadline, that's August 31st. For those that are on the third review, that's set by the advisory committee, but must be before October 26th at 5 p.m. And then September 3rd, starting at 11:30 and probably done by 11:35, will be ice cream with the dean. We're going to be passing out the small individual ice creams at that event. So if you want to come and participate or get some ice cream, come to that. And then September 19th through the 24th is going to be CAAS week. Several of those events listed there are pending approval of the safety committee, and so may or may not happen. So keep that in mind. Now, one last thing before we go to lunch. I mean, obviously, we've been asked to wear masks. Again, hopefully, department heads all collect these masks for faculty that would like to use these. Actually, they're not too bad. You know, we want to be really good citizens up on campus. So I would encourage you to wear your masks, to provide a good example to students who will be coming and taking our classes. I don't want you to be mask police, though. I think that puts our faculty and staff in too awkward of a position. We'll have, they will provide student ambassadors to try and encourage other students. But again, I just don't want to put our faculty in a position where, I mean, we have to develop good relationships with our students and have a positive learning environment. And so I just don't want to have our faculty have to run around and be mask cops. I'm hoping that we have high quality students, and my hope is, and my expectation is that if we set the proper example, those students will participate and everything will go smooth. It's just unbelievably happy for me to see those of you that are here in person. It's been kind of a long time. I felt in many respects like I've lived life in a cave, either a cave at home or a cave up in the office for the last several months. And so it's really good to be able to, as Dr. Dave pointed out, that connections with others is a very important aspect of, I think, at least I'll speak for myself and my own job satisfaction, to be able to interact with the high quality individuals that all of you are. I mean, I'm 100% convinced that we have the best faculty and staff on campus. You folks make this a great college and a great experience for your fellow employees as well as the students that earn their degrees with us. So thanks for all you do. Thanks for everything you have done. Thanks for everything that you will be doing. And let's have a wonderful academic year. Thanks for being here, and thanks for paying attention for those on Zoom. Now, probably the most important thing that I will give here is our lunch instructions. So each of you should have received a meal card. That's based on what you turned in as far as your preference for these different food items that are provided.